Xuán Zàng was born in the year 602 in the city of Chen Hui in Henan province, during the late Sui dynasty. His birth name was Chen Yi, and he grew up in a scholarly family deeply devoted to Buddhism. His father was known for his upright conduct and his dedication to learning, and this early environment planted in the young boy a profound respect for wisdom and the spiritual path. At the age of 13, Xuán Zàng took the vows of a novice monk in the local monastery, where he immersed himself in the study of Buddhist scriptures. His intelligence was remarkable, and he quickly mastered the doctrines available in China at the time. Yet, despite his diligence, he found that the Buddhist texts in his homeland often contained contradictions and incomplete translations. This deepened his desire to seek the original teachings preserved in the land where the Buddha had walked. China during Xuán Zàng's youth was politically unstable. The transition from the Sui dynasty to the Tang dynasty brought both hope and turbulence. When the Tang dynasty stabilized under Emperor Taizong, Xuán Zàng saw a chance to pursue his dream. However, traveling to India was forbidden by imperial decree, because the borders were dangerous and the route was long and filled with hostile lands. Despite this, Xuán Zàng resolved to risk his life for the sake of truth and the preservation of the Dharma. He secretly set out from the city of Chang'an in the year 627, heading westward without official permission. His departure marked the beginning of one of the most extraordinary journeys in the history of cultural exchange. Xuán Zàng's path took him across the treacherous Gobi Desert, where scorching days and freezing nights tested his endurance. He traveled alone for stretches without food or water, depending on the kindness of strangers and the discipline of his faith. After the desert, he faced the Tian Shan Mountains, their snow-covered peaks standing like great guardians of the western gate of China. Crossing them was perilous, but Xuán Zàng pressed on, guided by the belief that the Dharma was worth every sacrifice. In the oasis cities along the Silk Road, he met local rulers, some of whom welcomed him with honor, while others were suspicious of his intentions. His knowledge of Buddhist teachings and his eloquence often earned him safe passage and assistance. Eventually, Xuán Zàng entered Central Asia, passing through states like Gaochang, where the king became his patron and offered him supplies and protection. He visited Samarkand and Tashkent, engaging in debates with local scholars and leaving a strong impression of Chinese learning and diplomacy. His journey then took him to the high passes of the Pamir Mountains and into the vast plains of modern Afghanistan, where he encountered the remnants of the once great Buddhist culture that had thrived along these trade routes. When Xuán Zàng finally reached India after several years of travel, he was greeted by a land rich in spiritual heritage. He visited holy sites such as Lumbini, where the Buddha was born, Bodh Gaya, where the Buddha attained enlightenment, Sarnath, where he delivered his first sermon, and Kushinagar, where he passed into nirvana. Xuán Zàng was deeply moved by the sacred atmosphere of these places and by the devotion of the Indian monks. He then made his way to Nalanda University, the greatest center of Buddhist learning at the time. There, he studied under the guidance of the eminent abbot Srila Bhadra, mastering not only Mahayana but also Theravada doctrines, along with Sanskrit grammar, logic, and philosophy. Xuán Zàng's reputation as a scholar spread quickly across India. He participated in great religious assemblies, where his interpretations of Buddhist philosophy were praised by kings and monks alike. He received precious scriptures from various monasteries, many of which had never been seen in China. After more than a decade of study and travel in the Indian subcontinent, Xuán Zàng decided it was time to return to his homeland, bearing the wisdom he had gathered. The journey back was no less arduous than the journey out. Xuán Zàng crossed the Himalayas, facing avalanches and icy winds, then retraced his steps along the Silk Road with caravans of precious Buddhist texts, statues, and relics. In the year 645, he returned to Chang'an, where Emperor Taizong welcomed him with honor and respect. The emperor recognized the value of Xuán Zàng's mission, not only for religion but also for strengthening cultural ties between China and India. For the rest of his life, Xuán Zàng dedicated himself to translating the Sanskrit scriptures into Chinese. His translations were meticulous, preserving the depth of meaning found in the originals. He also wrote the Great Tang Records on the Western regions, a monumental work describing the geography, culture, politics, and religious life of the lands he had visited. This text remains an invaluable source for historians studying Central Asia and India during the 7th century. Xuanzang's commitment to truth, scholarship, and intercultural understanding left a legacy that shaped the development of Buddhism in East Asia for centuries. In the year 664, Xuanzang passed away in Chang'an at the age of 62. His life stood as a testament to the power of determination, faith, and the unyielding quest for knowledge. Across history, he has been remembered not only as a devout monk but also as a bridge between civilizations. His journey inspired countless later works, including the famous novel Journey to the West, in which his historical pilgrimage was reimagined in the realm of myth and legend. But beyond legend, the real Xuanzang remains one of the greatest travelers and scholars of the ancient world, a man whose footsteps linked the great cultures of China and India in the golden age of the Tang dynasty.